Welcome in, beautiful souls. If you're new here, my name is Jane, and if you're returning, I'm glad to have you back. So I received a download. So this video is, it's not for everyone. So I'm just going to start off with, this is about being a black sheep or scapegoat in your family group dynamic. So this is like a DNA family versus a soul family, and the difference between the two. They also showed me the numbers 1212 and the number 23. And 23 also represents Psalms 23 in the Bible, which is Lord is my shepherd. They said that you could be grieving a loss from your DNA family, and this will the reason they said that it was important that you do the grieving for your DNA family so that they can make room, so room can be made, not that they can make room, that you can make room for them to bring in your soul family, for the connection to be connected, I guess. So they're saying that truth lives within you, and you have been told of who you are and what you are, and you are not what they say you are, okay? And that you have a spiritual discernment, and your DNA family has projected their toxic patterns, fears, insecurities, and jealousy onto you. And maybe not in a conscious way, but definitely in a spiritual way. They also said that your light threatens them. And even if that isn't what they understand it to be, this is their way. They're doing this because it's their way to hide their dysfunction. And so labeling you takes or took away. I mean, this could be the past or this could be present right now, what's going on. This either took away or takes away from them seeing their own toxic patterns, so they don't have to deal with it. It's either easier to project it onto you and have you as a scapegoat or the black sheep. And the reason why you're the black sheep or the scapegoat is because the truth lives within you, and your light basically does threaten them. So they had me write down, like, when they squash grapes, it turns it into wine. And when they crush and squash seeds, it turns it into oil. So that tells me that what this family has done to you has basically turned you into a baddie warrior. Like, so you're a badass warrior, basically, is what they've turned you into. And that because the light is always going to expose the dark even without any speaking. Like, you could have been, even like, I was thinking how you must have been, like, you were probably like silent most of the time, just because you were always, people were always like projecting on you or saying this or that about you or to you, and so you probably kept silent most of the time. But even your silence, like, they couldn't get away from it, even your silence, because your light shines from within you, and there's nothing you can do to stop that light, and it just keeps exposing their darkness now. So, with that being said, I had pulled out a few decks that they had asked me to, and these three cards popped out for me. So I just set them up here, and I'm just going to go over a little bit about what these cards are here. So there's a bigger message that they want you to know. I don't know what that message is, so I'm going to just continue on here. And I am going to pull out one of these to read at the end, but I just wanted to go over what these cards mean, and I'm going to do them in order as they had popped out. So this deck here is the Sacred Geometry deck. So I believe when they had me pull this out, this is to do some kind of activation for you, or some type of awareness in some sense. I don't really know how or what. So for them to want me to do some kind of activation with these cards, this tells me that you're a high level spiritual being, though you might not believe that you are. We've all been led to believe things that are not true, and your family definitely has done that to you. And I can only bring these readings because, I was you at some point. Like, I've been the scapegoat in my own family. I've been A lot of projection has come upon me my whole entire childhood, early adulthood, middle age, even now. It's still happening to this day, basically. So, this is just something that it will always happen from your DNA family, and there's not much you can do about it other than grieving it and, just dealing with that energy and moving on from it. And that brings me to these three cards, because this card here is about achievement and completion. Like, if you can see, I don't know if you can see, but there are a bunch of circles here with the hands. Like, this is all about the different phases of life, of beginnings and completions that you've gone through. They're just saying to look, like, this card is like, talks about, like, with all the completions, the beginnings and completions. Like, this is something I think that has gone around and around and around for you, with different family members throughout the years. And that's why you have, I think, a lot of grieving going on now. But I think now you're at the stage that you recognize the energy. So I don't think it's as bad as it was in the very earlier years. And, maybe you're older and you understand a little bit more of what's happening. You understand that, that's what you are, that you are the scapegoat, that you are the black sheep of the family. And that's why. So, this is really about, to look to your future with optimism and hope, and knowing that new things are on the horizon for you, because, you're finishing, with this grieving, you're finishing another phase. And, and see all these hands too, that gives me the vibe that, these are your angels and your ancestors and your personal guides that are helping to bring in these new beginnings and helping you complete these cycles that we go through in life. Okay, so then we're going to move to the passion flower here. Now, the passion flower here is, like, if you see this flower in the very middle, like, this is the flower of life. So this is all about appreciation and awareness. So that's why I was saying, like, I think that you are now aware of, like, how you've become the scapegoat or the black sheep in your family. This also is about recognizing, like, the divine nature in everything, including the direction your life is taking at this time, to recognize the value of your chosen path and become aware of how your passion, can also flower. You know what I mean? So this is about being aware of exactly what you need and what you need to know, like, at this moment, and to feel how that recognition affects you. You know what I mean? Like, that's, I think part of the grieving. It also represents the body, mind, and spirit. Okay? So, basically this is just like, follow your bliss. Like, you see these two hands, again, more hands. Notice in these cards, I don't think there's that many cards that have hands in them, but, your I think because your DNA family had their hands in your energy for so long, now I think your soul family is putting their hands in it. You know what I mean? Like, they're now, helping you to rid yourself of the DNA energy, family energy, and know that you have a larger family in a soul, astral type way. So then we move to here, the number 5 here. I noticed that they have 25, 45, and then 5, which is fire keepers. This is all about your sacred responsibility and service. So this card, again, these triangles all represent different things. So, it represents like spirit, it represents divinity, life, strength, harmony, and completion again. So you know how you completed these cycles, well now there's more completion going on. And you know, fire actually, you know, is how you burn through those emotions and, you know, bring in like maybe remove the grieving, I guess. Maybe that's more the okay. So these three fires here, like on these three different triangles, it it has like the three levels of conscious personal mastery. So you have your physical awareness, your mental intention, and your spiritual evolution. Okay, so you see how like they're warming their hands here, and then you know like they go through each one at a time. So I think that's the stages that you need to go through. You need to you know, these are the three stages to master. So you know, you have to master the physical, which is dealing with all that, the grief and all that. And then you have the mental intentions here, which again, that's part of the physical as well. And then you have your spiritual evolution. So because they're bringing this out, and like I said, I think that you're a type of high-ranking spiritual being. Again, because only scapegoats and people with a lot of light in them are, you know, and there's like one in every family, I think. You know, or, you know, you'll have like, you know, one of your siblings will be like the golden child, and then you're just kind of like there. You know what I mean? So we're going to move on a bit here, and I'm going to so again, this reading is only going to be for people that resonate with being an scapegoat or a black sheep in their family. You know, and then you live with the inner truth, right? And even if you weren't an scapegoat or black sheep, you know, if you're somebody that lives, you know, has that inner truth and you're not afraid to express it. Wow, so I was talking about, look at that light. Whoosh. Boof. Looks like an explosion of light here. I don't know if you can see that or not. Okay. I don't think I've ever read that card before either. All right. Now, they have me bring out a couple decks here, which, you know, I'm going to say, I'm not going to lie, like this one, they seem kind of dark, but there's a lot of interesting characters in this deck here. So I'm just going to pull a few things out here and see what messages they want to bring forward for you. Okay, it's on the bottom. Mother of Dawn, the emissary, beauty, agency, compassion. Wow. Okay, we're going to leave her up. Okay. We're going to pull it a few more here. It's on the bottom. Envy, yeah. And that's another thing, too, because they have like jealousy or envy. There's something that they see in you and they don't want you to see it or understand it. I am the same as everybody, but with different challenges. Yeah. They probably even would say things to you like, oh, you think you're so special. Oh, you think you're this or you think you're that. This card just flew out, so we're going to take it. I said, just that's it. Yeah, peace. I'm a being of love and I release all negative energy. Yep. Sorry, I just hit the microphone here. Okay. It's on the bottom here. Up from the depths, realizing difficulty. Yeah, exactly. All that difficulty that you've gone through. Because if you are an scapegoat or a black sheep, you've had to battle not only what's within your family, but probably within like your community as a whole. Because if you affect your family that way, that means you would be affecting like friend groups, community, like things that you were involved in. Like you're going to get that kind of jealousy and envy from others, competition, secret competition that you're not even aware that was happening. And it's because you're a high-ranking spiritual being. And then I know you're just like, well, I'm just me. I mean, I'm nobody special, but you know what? Really, you are. It's On the bottom, ascendant masters, no joke. Devoted spirits with specific intentions. Mindfulness, peaceful presence, quiet mind. And I was just talking about that. At the very beginning, you were probably somebody that was really quiet. Even when you were quiet, you were still being like attacked, right? You were trying to be mindful of other people, trying not to provoke them, but it didn't matter. You got peaceful and the peaceful presence. So you have peace twice here. So you have some ascendant masters. That's why I was saying, like, you have some hands in here that are trying to devoted spirits with specific intentions. Yeah, they have something that they're doing here for you. They're brewing something. I don't know what they're brewing, but we're going to find out a little bit more information here. Camel, the bottom. Be forbearing and patient. Okay, let's see here. I would laugh if they brought it the goat. Monkey, there's a family. Experience all that life has to offer. Yeah. Big family groups and monkeys, right? Okay. My God, look, peace again. So you have peace, peaceful presence, and then peace on the bottom. Wow. I think that's what you're looking for. You just want peace now. You don't want to be dealing with all this. You just get through the grieving. You just grieve and don't let anything to disrupt your peace. Okay. This card does not want to come out. It's fighting me. Gratitude, buffalo. That's funny, buffalo. Well, I'm going to say that's funny because I just did a reading. And, oh no, that was a bull, wasn't a buffalo. Right. Okay. Let's see here. Okay, so let's begin here. So you get some ascendant masters here. And, and that they had me actually write down about Psalms 23, which is, Lord is my shepherd. They actually talked about too, they brought up, before I go on any further, they brought up about, like when when God is setting the table for your, I guess, your enemies. And it's not for the enemies to sit at the table. It's for them to see you in the end, like when you complete and you rise up to a certain level or something. I don't really know what they were talking about. The ageless, the light and the darkness. And I just finished saying to you that your light is going to shine no matter what in the darkness. It's going to always light the darkness. And that's why you are always being attacked. So you have healing, graciousness, acceptance. See, that's it. You accept other people. You're gracious about it. Now it's time for you to do your healing. But, just because these other people are not graceful or, they are who they are, where they are. Poet of Avalon, the storyteller, fame, stagnation, and pride. That's these people, right? So you're lighting them up. They tell a story about you that's not, it's like I said, see this light shining on them? They don't like it. You can see how, I don't know if you can see that though. I don't know what he's holding next to his chest. Hold on, my eyes are going. I have to get a thing here to see what he's holding. I think it's just a book. Yeah. I think he's just holding a book. See that light being cast on them? And he's very angry too. If you can, I don't know if you can see close up, but he's very angry. But see, even the light, it shoots out of your eyes even. People can see it. Like, even though you don't see it, people can see it. Service. I feel good when I can help others. Oh my God, because you're a peaceful being. Oh my God. And your presence is peaceful. Wow. Okay, let's see what else here. Moving on, letting go. That's exactly what this is. Like with this completion of these cycles, like I said, yeah, you're it's going to free you. Exactly. Yeah. And there's a bird here too. Okay, let's see what else I have here. The kangaroo, be a force for good. Archangels, Roquel, I guess. Jersia, I don't know, and Sandalphron. Wow. Look at that light shining. Hmm. Yeah, be a force for good and service. You could be, some type of spiritual warrior or something. Oh, look, intelligence. Look at the octopus. Wow. You're very rare. I'm going to tell you that you're very high ranking. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think you're somebody too that has been able to, just try. I think you try to like blend in and like disappear. What do we have? Harmony, the swan, the transformation. Like I said, this energy that has like, squashed you like a grape, they've turned you into a baddie, a spiritual warrior. Hmm. Yeah, absolutely. If you hear weird noises, my dog is like snoring. It sounds like a weird motor or something. Okay, let's bring out some tarot cards here. On the bottom is the Four of Swords. Okay. Ascendant Masters. Oh, I just noticed. Look, oh my God, I think you come from a lineage. This is your soul family. Your soul family comes from Ascendant Masters. Look, you see how she's carrying this light and then you're carrying the light? Look at that. It's what Ascendant Masters, they did the exact same thing that we do here. They come here, they they go through all these stages of ascension, and then they pass on. They transition into the higher realms when their bodies get old and deteriorate, and then they help their soul family here on Earth. Eight of Pentacles, yeah. Okay, so let me just pull out a few cards here and see. This is a dragon deck here. The light and the darkness. That's hilarious here. Oops. The Five of Pentacles. Yeah, they've created a lot of hardship for you. They've this is like I said here, like see how this is all with these struggles. You see how you have different. That's why I was saying, like, I just don't think it happened in your family group. I think it happened in like friend groups and different things like that. You had a lot of secret competition. Look at that on the bottom. Three of Swords. Yeah, this is all that struggle and pain. Oh my God, right under it, Five of Swords. No joke, Spirit. Yeah, this is what all this has done. It's created a lot of pain in you. It's all that grieving that you're going through. But here you got the Chariot, so you're moving on from this. You're definitely moving on. Oh my God, and the universe is helping you. Look, you get the universe on the bottom. Page of Pentacles. This is building a whole new life for yourself, a whole new, following your intuition and listening to your own. I got really bad pain in my chest too. I feel really bad because I know that this, see how like this, is pouring out of this poor dragon. This is all about like setting new goals and financial news, like planting those new seeds. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to move these up here because I want to get some clarifiers underneath here. Okay. Let's see here. Wow. Yeah, well, the Eight of Cups came out and the King of Pentacles. The Eight of Cups, that's all that work that you're doing on yourself and for your future. Again, the Eight of Cups is about moving on. It's about, you know, like, you see all this water around these cups, but yet not one cup has any water in it. It's almost like these people have never filled your cup in the way that you've needed. So now you're moving on from it. So, and it comes right out on moving on and letting go. Yeah, this is the energy. I got that pain back again. Yeah. This is a lot of grieving that you're going through. But the King of Pentacles here, because you have, I had the Ace of Pentacles out here, or was it the Ace of Pentacles that I had out? No, it was the Page of Pentacles. With the Page of Pentacles, with the news, right? With setting the goals, and then you have like the Sire of Pentacles here, which is the King. This is all about like the self-improvement and security and building a life for yourself, that has, financial gain and, eventually, see, and this is what I was saying, how like you see this little teeny one, but now you've grown into this big dragon, and now these people that have done this, they're the little ones. Yeah, look at this. Fool. Sorry, I keep trying to show your guides here. See, look, the Fool card here. Like you're just ready. It's time for you to move on from this. Yeah. It's time to, look, the Death card. This is definitely this rebirth. And then Emperor. Look at that. And then you got the Temperance. Look, filling up that cup for you. This is your angels healing. This is your, oh my God, and then the Ace of Cups is right underneath that. Spirit. Wow. Yeah, you've gone through a lot, but a lot is going to come towards you now. You're going to be a magnet to draw in all this good stuff here because you have, once you release these family members too, it creates room for your soul family to be able to, you have to purge out the old, right, to bring in the new. So, this is what you've been going through. But then I think you just finally like, okay, this is it. Like, because the Chariot's like that, you're on the right path about like, moving on, right? Finding that balance, coming through the hard stuff. That's, because that's what the Chariot is. Like, that's you coming out of all this, like, tough situations and the backstabbing and the lies and the deceit and the projecting and the jealousy and the envy. And, you're just a peaceful, a peaceful being here. Actually, and I think that you're an emissary of light, beauty, agency, and compassion. And then, because you have that, and then you have peaceful, and then you have this peaceful presence, quiet mind. And then underneath, look, you have connections. Oh my gosh, I'm right underneath that. What is this? Thought vibrations, signature signals, resonant choices. Yeah, this is your, these are your ancestors and all this trying to keep, yeah, yeah, exactly. Okay, so what's this card here? Number 31. I'm going to read that. But before I read that, they want me, there's a book here. It's called Healing Words. They want me to bring out some kind of message for you. The story of youth. One day, life came back to me with a story to say. I left you. I was stupid. I am sorry. Can we be together again? This is the common story of every teenager's life, mine included. The story of heartbreak, self-discovery, and love. And the story went on like this as I said, oh, dear life, I felt so empty without you, like a summer day without sun. I am so sorry that I let you go and I didn't ask you for a second chance. I was so weak when I opened the door of my heart. I let you step out. I am so sorry I never fought to win you back. All I have done these years was to wait for you to come back and wake me up from death. Oh, dear life, I must tell you, I was too weak as a teenager, weak and stupid. I was weak, too weak to speak with you and too stupid to make a commitment with you. But life smiled at me and replied, oh, I know how you felt, for I felt the same as you. I was unhappy without you. This is why I came back. Can we start all over again? I promise you this time I will stay. I bowed my head and said, I promise you this time I will love you. So this is my story and the common story of every teenager's life. The story of heartbreak, self-discovery, and love. The story of healing and growing. The internal story that goes on and on until the end of time. No joke. And I was saying how with, which dragon was it that represented that? This one here with the, sorry, let me move all these out of the way here. With this King of Pentacles, how like, you know, this was them when you were young, and then now you're this and they're that, how it's switched. That's exactly what that poem kind of reminds me of. I mean, it's important to forgive these people. However, I don't know if it's wise for you to let them back into your life, because until they evolve and grow, I think you've outgrown them. You know what I mean? To a point where, I don't think it's wise for you to go back into that. I mean, I think finding that self forgiveness for you to move on, do the grieving and all that. But unless they can prove to you that there's actual love and respect for you, then I don't think it's a wise thing for you to do. But I mean, everybody has to make their choice and live with it. So here we go, number 31. Let me find that book. My dog is laying all over my cards. Hold on. Oh my God, I gotta stop this creaky chair. What did I do with that book? Okay. Let's see here. Number 31. Let's see what this is called. Right to the light. No joke. See the right to the light. When moving through the darkness, I can't even make this up. Well, when moving through the darkness of our suffering, there will be times when we feel disconnected from the love and peace within. Are you all right? Are you okay? Okay, hold on. My dog, I think she got herself stuck on the page. I'll check your ears in a minute. She keeps shaking her head. I don't know what's going on with her ears. I gotta take a look. She hates when I pick at her. Okay, distractions. When moving through the darkness of our suffering, there will be times when we feel disconnected from the love and peace within. And it is in those moments that we need to remember our right to the light. When we are in the midst of suffering, This inner access to spiritual presence is available to us, no matter how disconnected we feel from all things spiritual. The light is always there for us. Your ascendant masters, yeah. That's why I was saying, like with the hands, right? All that, see all that light too? See all that light coming down and going up? We have the right to call upon spiritual grace at all times and for all things. We are encouraged to exercise that right. It is capable of reaching us in any state of mind, in any place, and at any time to bring relief. Even now, it is tapping at your door to your heart. Open to it. Wow, Spirit. Well, that was amazing. Is there anything else? Okay, they said that they want me to bring out another book. This is for self-love notes here. It's one more and then I'm closing the reading. This one? This one. Be the sole reason for all the excitement, explosive action, and magical happenings in someone's life. Be an inspirational beacon and a catalyst for lasting transformation. Be a catalyst. Because they did bring up the card about service here. I think they want you to develop your spiritual gifts. Okay, but I mean that has to be done. You can do that while you're healing. Obviously, I mean we all, heal a little, grow a little, heal a little, grow a little, and that's really how it goes. That explains that first reading that I did. Okay, all about the expansion. Okay, this is it. That's all I have for you, and I'm going to close the reading. So I bid you a good day, and I hope this video finds you well, and I'm going to send you all my love and light. Bye, everyone.